What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Transformers Studio Series Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime. So this is actually somewhat strangely marketed or branded. It's got Buzzworthy Bumblebee for some reason. It is a Studio Series figure, but whatever reason they put it in the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line. It's just a little strange, but it is from Rise of the Beasts, of course. And we do get this very nice looking Optimus. It's got some nice paint on it. Let's talk about it. We got some silver detail here, nice Autobot tampos there, silver there on the arms. This is all just gray plastic, but it doesn't look bad. It's not swirly gray, so I don't mind that too much. A little bit of silver paint there on the knees, on the shins. Yellow paint and silver paint for the abs and the crotch area. That all looks really good. You have hip skirts here, just done in the gray plastic. Here's the back. You have red paint here. Looks like it's a blue piece of plastic with red paint, which is fine. I think that looks okay. They did go the extra mile to make his back look, more accurate to the original movie, so that's good. Overall, pretty good looking. Oh, and the face, by the way, has blue eyes, silver paint for the mask, and then gunmetal for the head crest. All of that looks really good. As far as articulation, the head is on a ball joint. The way they designed it, they finally, cut away in certain areas so you can actually get it pretty much any direction. Side to side, rotates around, and goes up to there. Pretty good. If you keep going, it will pop off the ball joint, but it has a very nice range of motion. Shoulders rotate all around on a friction joint. They go up to there on this hinge joint there. You have a rotation at the bicep. Double joint elbow, you can see the full bend. You have a rotation at the wrist, in and out movement at the wrist. No movement at the fingers. You have an ab crunch. It's interesting the way they designed this in. It actually works. It gets you the full ab crunch. It's a nice design. Hip skirt will move out of the way. The legs will go up to there. This front hip skirt just stays, but it gets pretty high up even without moving this piece here. Back, pretty much nothing. It's blocked by the sculpt. Rotation at the thigh. You have a single jointed knee, gets you 90 degrees. There is some sculpt work here. You don't have the waffles and gaps that you'd expect on something like this. They did a good job filling in everything. Very, very nice. Nice sculpted detail all throughout. Coming down to the feet, you have ankle tilts, both directions all the way as far as you would want, and back and forth on a ball joint, and you can rotate that foot, which is part of the transformation, but also works here for articulation as well. As far as the accessories, you get his blaster here, just done in a gray plastic. This could have stand some paint, honestly. It's a little bit on the plain side, but come to the side here, you'll open up this panel, fold a hand in, and that'll of course reveal his peg here. You can peg this in, and now he can be blasting some Decepticons. That gun, not too bad. I wish it did have paint though. You also get this sword, which is done in this gunmetal gray. It looks really good on a blue plastic. This can be used a couple of ways. You can plug it straight into the arm like this. There's a little peg hole right there. I think that looks best, kind of like a knife for his arm. Or if you prefer, you can make it a sword. You can use it this way. Or you can use this tab over here and get this like this on the side of the arm. Me personally, I think it looks best when you have it pegged in to the side. But of course, you can choose however you want to use these weapons. You can also store the weapons on the back. So on the backpack here, you can just take the weapon and plug it in like that, and then you can take the sword, and this can you can put it wherever you want, but basically store it back there. But me personally, I prefer to have him armed up. Right, one last accessory I didn't mention is this cardboard background here with a scene from the movie, but it's rendered. It's not an actual picture. So it does look a little funny, but it does say Transformers Rise of the Beast Studio Series here. Got a little stage for him to stand on. It's all right. You know, if you're collecting these, I guess you could make it look kind of neat on the shelf. Me personally, I would never display it with this cardboard background, but nice that they included it for those that want to. And for a size comparison, there it is next to the Earthrise Optimus Prime. Basically the same size. These little chest pieces come up a little bit higher, but basically the same size Optimus. So it is a Voyager scale, even though this is a leader class. And yeah, it looks good. Scales nicely with the retail line if you're trying to fit them in with other Chug scale figures. And just for fun, there it is next to the YOLO Park version of the Rise of the Beast Optimus. And, you know, kind of not really a comparison. These are two different things. This is a model kit that's pre-painted and sculpted, you know, very nicely. This is a transforming retail figure, but they are basically the same price, very close, a couple dollars off. So I just wanted to show you, you know, kind of the difference in, you know, the take that Hasbro, they need to put the money into, I guess, the engineering and, you know, the parts count. Whereas these guys, they don't need to worry about that. So you get a bigger figure, better paint, better sculpt detail, but no transformation on this guy, obviously. So there you go for a little comparison. All right, now let's get Optimus transformed into his vehicle mode. And I do find the transformation relatively fun and intuitive. So let's get started with the arms, even though that's not how they start in the instructions. Go ahead and open up this panel, rotate the arm in, fold that up, open up this panel, and just let that sit out for that, like that for now. Just rotate this out of the way. Same with this one, open up the panel, fold the hand in. We're going to rotate these 90 degrees, so they end up like that, and then leave these panels folded down like this. Right, now we'll take care of the chest. Open up these panels here. There is a little panel here, and there is a little cavity in there. It doesn't have a matrix or anything. This is the matrix from the Earthrise Optimus. You can kind of stick it in there, but, you know, obviously not meant to hold a matrix. You didn't have a matrix in the movie. Maybe you could also take this gun here and store that in there. I don't know. Whatever you want to do, but I just want to show you there is a cavity there. So if you want to put something in it, you can. But part of the transformation, I'm going to fold this panel up, fold this entire head section down, close these back up. You can see now the front section of the cab, the windows are now flush against that panel. Come to the back, we're going to pull this out. It's just tabbed in right here. Fold at the waist. We're going to open up these wheels on both sides. I'm going to take his entire upper body section, rotate 180 degrees. We can come to the legs here, and we're going to open up these panels here, the shins. Rotate this inwards, fold this up, and just leave this here for now. You're going to rotate the foot to the side, and then there's a little tab right there to tab it in. So it should look like that. Same on this side. Open up the shin, rotate this panel 180 degrees, rotate the foot, and tab that in. You bring these together, and you can tab these two legs together. So sit like that. Take the hip skirts, make sure it's all lined up, but there's a little tab right there to tab the hip skirt in. So you just tab that into there. That. And we're going to leave these here for now. We can take this sword, and with the blade side up like this, there's a little tab right here that's going to fit right here on the inside of the legs. And on the bottom, you'll see this peg is going into his crotch. And then you can close this around it, and the sword can just sit like that in between. You can also do that later if you want to. Right now we'll take care of the arms. So come to here, we're going to take these panels, open these up, come to the back of the arms. There's this panel right here. You're going to fold that down 180 degrees. Same on this side. Fold this down 180 degrees. These do rotate, but you know, not really meant to rotate for transformation, so I'm not really sure why. You can rotate on this inner hinge here. That's what's going to allow you to get the arm back into this position. So you get this arm stored back here. This is going to come inwards and sit right here. This panel is going to come up and tab into here. Fits pretty securely. This tab, it has a little slot right there. It's going to tab into the top of that. So that's basically one arm done. You take this panel. This has a tab right here and a slot and a tab on the back of the smokestacks. And then there's a little tab on the inside that's going into his calf or his thigh, like that. All right, let's go ahead and do the other side. So we'll take this, rotate that down. One of my sides is tighter than the other, so you might have that experience as well. But get this rotated in. We have this backwards. Get the arm all the way in, get that pegged in. Then you can fold these panels down on both sides. Make sure this is straightened up. We can get this down, tabbed into the back of that, and into the thigh and into the back there. Make sure you get all three. Make sure these are down. And last few steps here, we're going to take this. This is going to accordion upwards and peg right here and into the bottom. Give it a nice firm push. It should sit nice and flush against the truck. Like that. Then we can take the gas cans, and I saved this for last even though in the instructions they do it earlier. Because if you open this earlier, you're going to end up folding it in on your own. It's the same weird design they did for Earthrise. You got to fold out these gas cans. All right, then we're going to take the gun and use the little tab right there to get that pegged in right here on the side. All right, there's Optimus in his vehicle mode, and it's actually pretty good looking, at least from the side and the front. You got the nice bumper guard here. Looks pretty good. Silver paint here across the front. That looks good for the grille and the stripe and the headlights. Silver up here. Silver across the stripe here. Wheels have silver paint for the inner wheels. They are actually really good looking wheels. I like what they did here. It looks like a tire and it looks like a wheel. It doesn't look like a peg hole or something. You know, a lot of times on these retail figures, they cheap out on the wheels and these look fine. Smokestacks are done in a gray plastic, more gray plastic up here. It doesn't look great, but at least they covered the holes up. Looks okay. Here's where things go awry in this back area here. It does stow the sword and also the gun here, but it just doesn't cover up enough and ends up looking, you know, a little dumb back here. I mean, there's just too much kibble. But from the side, I think it's okay. And from the front, pretty good. You know, it is good looking. It does roll nicely on these wheels. And like I mentioned, these are plastic, but they look good. Good enough to, you know, represent actual rubber tires. And for a quick size comparison, there it is next to the Earthrise Optimus. Basically the same size. The cab is almost identical. A little bit shorter in length, although, you know, it's got all this fill back here. But yeah, pretty much the same, obviously, with the newer design. So, final recommendations on the Transformers Studio Series Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime. I'm going to give this a 4 to 5. I'm going to recommend it. This is a really good figure. It's really fun to transform. It's got great articulation. It looks really good in robot mode. I think where it falls down is the vehicle mode. You know, the vehicle mode is not very good looking, especially from the back. And that tends to be a problem with the Optimus these days. They just don't seem to care about the rear of the vehicle. To me, I'm not going to give anybody a free pass. You know, you got to have, the whole truck has to look like a truck. But other than that, though, this is a great figure. I was really surprised how much articulation they really worked into this guy. And, you know, how dynamic he really is. So, I definitely recommend it. If you can pick this up, this is from Target. I think it's a Target exclusive, actually. So, if you're interested, you can check them out. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.